of the way we start getting banned on TikTok. I don't know what I said. Hateful behavior, what? You know, but I do rants. That's what goes on with me. So it's you know, not likely to grab many viewers today, but I am going to start going live on YouTube, right? So what are we going to do? I guess we always can just practice. Oh, wow, a thumbs up. No viewers, but a thumbs up. I appreciate you guys. Like I said, just got busted off of TikTok, and I was going to start up a YouTube live anyway after, because we've got to get on a platform where we can say what the fuck we want to say. You know, people who watch me know that I'm not mean. I'm not. TikTok just bans people and doesn't tell them why. You know, there's no rhyme or reason to it. Oh yeah, you know, I do have an alternative talk, but my iPad's not here. That's why. Different device. But I suppose I could do that, you know. But we're talking about me getting banned on TikTok. People, if you're new and you just came across this on YouTube, we used to do it at the same time. I would do a TikTok and a YouTube, and I had a buddy helping me, and he would do a StreamYard or something where you could do both of them. But I lost his help, and it became a thing where if I'm on YouTube, I put all the actions on TikTok, then I'm ignoring the YouTube, and I'm like trying to do both and look in two places, and all of a sudden I like miss you know, any chat or anything that's going on. So please feel free to chime in. I'm just, you know, I'm going to start going live on YouTube from time to time and make it a regular thing so we can do the same thing and build up a following here, because I've just, you know, I have limited time, and TikTok took so much of my time as it is. I just haven't had time to pay attention to actually I started this YouTube, you know, earlier, but it just we started ignoring it. So trying to build back up. So yeah, thanks Andre Beasley for being here. I don't recognize you. Who are you on TikTok? What's up, man? Yeah, like I said, thanks for popping over, both you guys, all three of you. This will probably be a tad awkward to start, but I did plan on doing it anyway. So here we are on YouTube. And yeah, I don't know, 11 viewers. It usually goes down to that now, though, Joy. I don't get a lot more than 12, 18, 20 viewers sometimes once we get into, you know, what it is anymore. So yeah, there's no question that I'm getting shadow ban. And the TikTok doesn't, I don't get new followers, you know what I mean? Even if the last video got 5,000 views, which is starting to be kind of an average, you know, not a really good one for me, but some of them get like 500. You know, I'm like, all right, what's going on, you know, and no new followers from them. Whereas I could tell when I was off, because the video that hit just stayed on there. It was like every day, every hour I could tune in, and another 40 followers, and now it's like, breaks on, you're only at 91. So who the fuck knows, man? Oh, you're lateral straight. That's fine. I do recognize the face there. Yeah. Well, thanks, man. Thanks for coming over. I think I'm gonna do that for a while. If TikTok comes back on 11/20, November 20th, that is just a week away. So, but I won't be able to go on until this time on TikTok. So maybe we'll go late on TikTok and try to follow it up with the YouTube, and then move the YouTube. I think that probably Friday night is best for me at about 6 p.m. Call it the Friday Night Freight Car and do more of it, just like unpacking actual news shit. You know, I like the shit I read on Reddit. I read it on Reddit. Hell equals punishment for a thought crime. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Eternal punishment for a thought crime. That's the scary part, right? Was Adam a man with schizophrenia? Or Abraham, excuse me. Was Abraham a man with schizophrenia? Fucking Abraham didn't exist. What kind of question is that? Abraham is a myth. I'm sick of losing friends over religion. Well, you don't need those friends. If you're actually losing them over their religion, then they were shitty friends, right? So my parents' church is telling them that Pokemon are Brazilian demon gods. They are, but they're still better than your god. Righteous anger and Christian indignation are the most frustrating barriers to intellectual reasoning and human progress. Righteous anger and Christian indignation. I think somebody made a really, really salient point about freedom of religion having become the reason that undereducated Americans are able to undereducate the future generations. And that's, I've been saying that for a long time. We've gotten to that point where we've lost the ability to critically think to the point where they can tell you anything about the founding of the country. They can tell you that the country was founded by 7 fucking elves from Liechtenstein, and the people in school would believe it. So it's not surprising. Looking back over now, I'm old enough to remember when education was decent in America. I got a decent education, and now it's like the kids don't fucking learn shit, and all that. And it's due to the ability of these churches to prescribe their own doctrine. In effect, if you want to be a creationist church, you have the ability in the United States to avoid what should be universally accepted and taught basic knowledge in schools, evolution and what we know about the abiogenesis and the origin of life and philosophy, worldwide religion. What's up, the native atheist? What's up, man? Thanks for jumping on, dude. Appreciate you. We've gotten to the point where people are able to miseducate their kids on a level where we don't have any. The lowest common denominator in America should be a fairly highly educated person who finished at least, you want to say, 10 grades of good education. If it was good, it wouldn't need 12, right? But for now, that's the least we should be able to expect. And what we're getting is people who can learn anything in a school because of the privilege of religious denominations that wouldn't exist if it weren't for separation of church and state. It's a two-edged sword. Freedom of religion in the U.S. has led to the explosion of religious denominations, and that in turn has led to an undereducated public. Say what you want about a state religion. If there was a state religion, it would be easier to keep false teachings from the public sphere. That all of our children can be educated properly, and then they can choose a religion later if they want. But the way it is now, that's our right. It's our right to teach our kids what we believe, even if what we believe is completely counter to what we all know from the facts and the evidence. We don't do anybody a favor by allowing society to get stupider. So yes, it's a very, very, very salient point that freedom of religion has actually destroyed the American intellect in a lot of ways. There's no other way to look at it but that it has succeeded wildly for religion, and it should be succeeding for state too. But we've let that wall break down now, right? Religion and government are both stronger without each other. It's not hard. Yeah, Matt Hatter, thanks for jumping over, man. I had no idea. I don't know what I said. I hated too hard on somebody. I just think the way I talk runs afoul of the algorithm. I think it looks for words that are close together, and I think it hears shit and it kicks you off. I'm not sure. You might be right, Joy. I might have a hater. It's certainly possible. Pick up a new hater every day. Followers and haters, right? But writing poop at Hobby Lobby. Maybe. You can't say poop. I mean, you can't say poop on TikTok. Where the fuck am I gonna go? That's why I'm over here, man. I figured, what the fuck? I'm gonna start doing TikTok like everybody else has and let it build. Maybe it'll build slowly, but at least you get the feeling you can set it for not for kids. And I don't hear the same kind of complaints that you get kicked off for expressing your opinion. I just don't know what the hell all that's about. Because I said Arcade Fire was better than Rush. I didn't say they were better than Rush. You have to listen closely. They're aliver than Rush. Their drumming's basic compared to Rush. I'll give you that. But boy, as a 7 or 8 piece band, man, boy, the musicality, the arrangement, the instrumentation, the practice that went into. I've never seen anybody who can a band that big that can increase the tempo and decrease it together in such incredibly incredibly smooth way. It was just, it was fame. Still too soon? Yeah, tough shit. That's what you get. I'm sure a live Rush show was probably fucking amazing today. But Arcade Fires now they're big enough to get like good lasers, and the whole thing was about as good as it gets. Yeah, maybe I was looking at that because they keep telling me, that I signed up for my other account on TikTok so that I could, if I do get banned, and all of a sudden I like got off their radar stars. I don't feel like I'm close to getting banned completely, like a lot of the creators are, or atheist creators have been. So I just kind of stopped putting any content on there. But I always get the emails like, "Hey, atheist_underground, you've got 70 new notifications. Wanting you to check in." So maybe I'll do that. I'm not doing the Wednesday thing anymore. It's just too much. The TikTok's not, it hasn't been as popular the lives as it was in the beginning for whatever reason, and it's just too much for me to want to do it twice. It makes it much more fun for me on Sunday if I save all my energy for the Wednesday. That's why I'm going to go to. Yeah, Jay, he is on like his 11th account, isn't he? No, but that's why I'm going to go to YouTube. I think on Friday. I think it'll be Friday night YouTube, Sunday morning TikTok still. But for now, I'll do this YouTube right after the TikTok, so that anybody who wants to keep going, you can't quite get enough of my blabbermouth. You can just fold over to TikTok, and maybe then the TikTok won't get. I'll be able to, promote it a little better, and get people used to what I'm going to be doing, because I got to start putting some of my other videos on YouTube. Some of the longer ones, again, some of the ones in the Muhammad limericks. I got more limericks I got to do. It's been busy. But it's the limericks, they can't post one about Muhammad, so it gets banned. So I don't want to put all the limericks on the talk. Of course, they're suppressing you, man. They don't want you. They don't want any of us, man. It's brutal. You never listen to Arcade Fire? You might actually like them. It's really full. The sound is full, and it doesn't, for that reason, it doesn't touch everybody, I think. But like I said, it's like a 9-piece band, and every person plays every instrument. They're just wildly talented players, and it's alternative, and it's really unique. Their sound is unique. They've definitely got a sound now after several albums that you can kind of pick it out that it's them. But it's really their first album. They won Best New Artist, I'm gonna say, 2012, 14, somewhere around there. One of my favorite albums in the last 20 years. It's just the bomb. But you kind of got to be ready for that. It comes at you with a lot of layers, all on top of each other right away. So people who like simpler, I dated a girl who was into like Lana Del Rey and that kind of stuff. And it's like, she's like, "Do you really like this, or do you just think you should like it because they're?" I'm like, "No, this is up my alley. This kind of stuff." So do it. Yes, the Arcade Fire. Thank you guys for being here. It's the Atheist Underground Psychological Emancipation Railway. We will do more YouTube as we go forward. We'll get kicked off of TikTok again because I'm a potty mouth and I say something that Christians don't like, and really we're just here to fuck with religion. And we don't want to really make anyone mad. We just want to say embarrassing things about religion and like poke fun at people's faith. Why would that make anyone upset? Why do people get upset about that? How do I threaten your God? He's so powerful, but his skin is so thin that one atheist on this tiny planet is going to threaten his all powerfulness. Why would he even give me a second thought? No, you hate God. Righteous anger and Christian indignation are the most frustrating barriers to intellectual reasoning and human progress. After all, why should someone evaluate whether or not their views mesh well with reality as long as they have a book, a religious authority, and a crowd of fellow religious bigots reaffirming that it's okay to be arrogant and repulsive? It's more than that, though, isn't it? It's the cognition. It's where your ability to shut it out begins and ends, right? And for me, that's a low threshold. It doesn't take long for me to be like, wait, that doesn't jive with what we know. So how could it be right? You know, and certain people are better at just compartmentalizing, and they're like, okay, well, I just don't think about it, and so they're able to put their cog down. I think people misuse that term too, don't they? The cognitive dissonance is the struggle you have to relate what you believe with what you can evidentiarily know. So it's not cognitive dissonance that keeps people in religion. It's the ability to shove it down, the ability to overlook your cognitive dissonance, because everybody has it. That's why they get so upset. They know they don't like to be reminded that they have mega doubts, and they're just too indoctrinated. My mom and my grandma and my great grandma, and they all said it was so, and I'm gonna get a spanking if I don't go to church. That's deep psychological shit. So deep that like doctors and people who are highly educated can't break free of it, even when they know that the shit in the Bible doesn't stand up to scrutiny for 1 second scientifically, and we know things that actively debunk Christian doctrine. Maybe we can't debunk God completely, and who really cares to? That never mattered to us growing up in religion. Never mattered to us. Or okay, well, God did it 14 billion years ago. Okay, well, God did that. The Big Bang. Okay, God did that. It just wasn't an issue because we didn't take the Bible as literal. And people that do, obviously, is you hear me say over and over, are not as smart as the people who wrote it. The people who wrote it knew it wasn't literal. They didn't know. Like well, my dad told me because he was there. Not even third person. Well, great uncle Jim was on the mountain when God created everything. He saw it. Yeah, big naked guy. But no, there's not. The people who wrote it knew that they're making up a story to explain what they didn't know. As the Satanists say, one should never distort scientific facts to fit their. This is the thing. You're entitled to your own reality, your own truth, your own opinion. You're not entitled to your own facts. So just meld it in there. The Dalai Lama said it right. If science disproves something about Tibetan Buddhism, then Buddhism will change. Well, of course, if you want to stay relevant, you have to. Look at the Catholic Church accepted evolution long ago because they knew. They have issues with accepting other modern ideas, like not raping children, but they right away they're like, okay, well, we need to stay relevant as a religion. We can't deny what the fuck everybody knows. Evangelicals take a look at that and be like, yeah, okay, God's still out there. He just did it this way. It's a very easy leap to make. The Bible is best seen as metaphor. This is from a foreword to a King James Bible, the official Catholic Bible. There was a foreword to it, like an editor's comment, a preface, as it were, and it was just explaining how we read the Bible as Catholics, because this was a Catholic edition of the King James Bible, and I remember quite clearly reading it. So science has clearly shown that the creative process took more than 7 days. So Genesis is best seen as metaphor. It explains why God did this, because he loves us. It doesn't really make any sense if you really break it down, but this is how they wrote the creation myth that came out of their particular culture. I know you guys know this. You're all smart. My guy could beat up your guy. Navajo Nation finally get electricity for all their homes. That's progress. Well, like today, is that like new that like some of those places don't have electricity? I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, measured constraints. What's up? And Navajo's isn't that what it's the white person's term, right? I forget. I watched the show. What's that? Dark Winds? What's it called? It was a good show. Oh, Boomer U. Yeah, what's up, man? The former Boomer U is now measured constraints, my friend. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for stopping over on the YouTube. And we inspired YouTube effort here as we go forward. We'll plan a little bit more for a YouTube presence, and hopefully we can try to grow this thing. We're trying to get to 1,000 followers. I don't know what. There's probably 700 or 800 on this YouTube, and that's a goal that I've had for a long time. I have not put any work towards it. So I think if I'll get off here after a little while and and try to put my video, which I love, but again, it's TikTok, and I don't like to put up videos that are longer than a minute because I don't feel like people watch it. And that's based on my own fucking habits. I look and I'm like, ooh, it has to grab me. If I'm gonna watch someone's 3-minute video and they're just blabbing, and so I'm fearful of doing that myself. I'm like, if I make a 3-minute video, I don't feel like people are watching it to the end. And I made one. It wasn't 3 minutes. I try to keep them, even if they're over a minute. You set it at 3 minutes. Try to get it in a minute and a half or whatever. But thanks, Matt, for interrupting me. My chain of thought. But the 3-minute videos, yeah, I feel like you're right. A good short on TikTok will have people watching a little bit longer, but give it a little bit more. But it has to be compelling. I turn away, and these people that I know and like, but if it's a long video and it just seems boring and pedantic, I'm not there for it. Really why I try to keep my videos to 60 seconds and try to keep them funny, or snarky at least, or some kind of hook somewhere. Because I really feel like people are challenged, and I'm one of them. I'm not blaming other people. I realized this by looking at the way that I use TikTok. I'm like, man, these 3-minute videos that are telling me something that it's got to be fucking interesting, or I'm gone right away. So I try to avoid that. But the one I did about if atheists acted like evangelicals, where I envisioned an atheist tent revival preacher, one of my favorite videos. I actually wrote that script and kind of memorized it. And one of the ones I put more work into. I think that really makes some heavy points compared to a lot of my shit, which is fun but frivolous. Let's face it. A dirty limerick about diddling a child in the church parish. Yeah, that's heavy stuff, but once in a while I put one out there that's got some thought behind it. And it did well, but not nearly as well as some of the ones that are like, to me, a lot less impactful in terms of the message. But who am I to judge? You put these things out there, and people like them, they don't like them. You can't do all that. That's cool, man. As a poet, I like that. Hacked our attention. Yeah, technology has indeed hacked our attention and a lot more. Hacked our ability to interact with people. It's hacked our social life, hasn't it? Right? People can't even I'm worried for my kids, my son especially, because he's a computer geek and he's online all the time, and he's a gamer, and his best friends are people he's met on the internet, and doesn't have that ability to just walk up to somebody and look them in the eye and say hi and get to know somebody on an interpersonal level, in any kind of way. Make friends, flirt, build a boyfriend girlfriend style relationship. It's starting to get lost on people, and it's brutal. It's brutal. What else is up here on the mainstream media panic over post-truth journalism in an era of misinformation isn't taking into account one important aspect. Religion was the OG irrational anti-science belief system. Yeah, and post-truth journalism. I think you could spin it that way too. That's a pretty good point. Mainstream media is not the post-truth journalism thing is not really new in terms of the wagging the dog. I mean, religion is absolutely right there. Maybe the first fake news, right? Religion, fake fucking news, man. You want to talk about fake news? Theism and homeopathy. You guys like homeopathy? This is not how you spell home. They wrote homoeopathy. I went down to my gay holistic medicine guy, and he recommended homoeopathy for my treatment. Has anyone else noticed how theists will always follow some pseudoscience bullshit? Nearly everyone in my locale will bet their life on homeopathy or Reiki or some shit. Apparently, having a sky daddy is not enough. They also need to have flowing energy and conscious water mountains. That's the way it goes, isn't it? I mean, if you believe one, if you're the kind of person that believes that kind of shit, you're going to believe that. That's why the conspiracy theory goes right along with that. It's like, oh, yes, I knew it. I knew it. Now I get it because I knew there was a fucking reason behind it. It's because all these people are in on it and they did this. Now I can explain my stupid world. So yeah, of course. But it's not just it's homeopathic, man. You can't listen. not homoeopathic. Yeah, it's true. Come on, man. You don't like homeopathy? Ah, ay, ay, ay. Believing in woo woo is a pathway to get out of a religion. Well, it can be. I think that's probably true. Yeah, the spirit of the. What do you think about spiritual people? I get that all the time. Right? What do you think about spiritual people? We're better, right? We're better than theists. I don't know. Are you? Yeah, it's just, I think people need that, and they don't like religious dogma, and they don't like the bigotry that goes along with the promotion of religious dogma. So I think that you're right that kind of woo belief will wean the nicer ex-religion off of their religion. It will. But yeah, whatever gets you through the night. Uh, yeah, I know other people that homeopathy is so stupid. I have a guy in our groups that'll rant, and he's not even in the business like you are. Yeah, and the opinion on spiritual people is like, what does that really mean? What are we really asking about? What do you think about spirituality? What is that? That's like such a vague. It's like holding water in a sieve to even talk about that. Well, you gotta define it a little bit more, I think, before you just like, oh, spirituality is good. Oh, okay. I went from Christianity to woo to atheist. I did too, but woo was literally like a couple of years of college and tarot cards and smoking weed. That was my woo. Or figuring that there was that somehow your consciousness lived on until I'm like, wait a minute, how does that work? So it was a short stop at woo for me, but it was fun. Had my minute. You know, what is woo? Woo is just a term that people use to mean any kind of superstition, magic. If you've never heard that, I hadn't either until a couple of years ago, until I got into this movement. Yeah, a Ouija board is woo. You know, voodoo is woo. Um, I think it's a bit more English. I think I believe in the woo. I think it came from. I could be wrong about that, but I never heard it when I was younger. In fact, until very recently, last 10 years, then I started hearing people explain, supernatural belief of any kind is woo. Yeah, tarot is fun. My guy was like, "Oh, tarot," and it's just like, come on, man. It's just like astrology. Yes, if you're a credulous person, it does seem oddly specific to you, but that's because it's vague enough to be. And human problems are common and ubiquitous enough so that most of those cards can be spun, especially when you're ready for that, to believe that it's wow, there's something behind that, isn't there? I think astrology gets people. It's like, wow, I really did have a morning like that. Okay, whatever. This is not. I- Oh, dark. It must be an ad. How does Dark Fantasy City Builder get on Reddit, on subreddit atheism? I don't get that. When my mother died, I had several friends and family say to me, "Don't worry, she's in the company of angels, smiling down from heaven." Exactly like that. More than one person said it exactly like that. How do you people feel about this sort of thing? I feel it makes that asshole feel good, and they think that they're saying something that makes you feel good, and maybe it does. But it's all bullshit, obviously. But what are you supposed to say? I mean, this is one of those things. If more people understood that there are a lot of people that don't believe in God at all, then it wouldn't end up being so awkward for atheists at religious funerals. You know what I mean? People would understand that not everybody here agrees that mom's in heaven. And you wouldn't have to be stuck with that. Yes, of course. What are you going to say to a kid at a funeral that's been told that and that's comforting them? Of course, you're not going to be the asshole who's like, yeah, your mom's not in heaven. You and Neil Peart, your mom and Neil Peart, not in heaven. Pierce, sorry. Yeah, I know. Too soon. No. But yeah, what are you going to do? You got to be a human being. So I don't know. It makes me sad in the end that that we're at a point where people, continue to need that kind of, psychological crutch, really. Isn't a better place, right? I mean, who can say that Oblivion's not a better place than this? Eternal peace, rest, no more problems, no more nothing, just blissful sleep with no weird dreams. Even I don't get how anybody's really afraid of that. You can write a book with tea leaves. Yes. If Neil Peart runs a donut shop, then I want to go get a donut there. So you better tell me where that fucking place is, man. Because I love donuts, and we know our Canadian friends. You like a donut, eh? Yeah, we got Tim Hortons now in upstate New York. I was there, yeah. You get a donut. You can get a maple frosted donut before you play hockey. Get some energy. Yeah, Neil Peart, great drummer, maybe the best ever. Not like Elvis in any other way. Oh, Elvis might have been a better lyricist than Neil Peart. Oh, I kind of think of tarot like people think of Rorschach. People just see something they need to. Yes, yes, and that's it. Yes, you hit the nail on the head, Matt Hatter. If you buy 21 dozen donuts, you get one free. See who gets the joke. Beyond me right away. I have to think about that. Is there some math involved in that joke? 21 dozens is 21 times 12. I can't even do that in my head. What's 21 times 12? I know he wrote all their lyrics. Their lyrics sucked. Weird, stolen. Still don't get it. A dozen is 12, 21, 12. Get one free. It won't. Either one, right? The rush thing or the donut does the thing. I don't get the joke. I'm dense. LGBTQ friendly vote signal progressive shift for Methodists. This is news. This is the religion I came out of. We were always progressive, always liberal. It doesn't surprise me. The Methodists are going to be right there. They'll be Christ mythicists pretty soon. They're like, yes, it's all a myth. It's a good message. Try to be good. You're killing me. My brain hurts now from the Russian donut math. What if you walked into a donut shop and you saw Neil Peart just serving up donuts, all fat, got that stupid hat on, the jughead hat, get that thing. Hey, dude, aren't you Neil Peart? Drum me up some fucking donuts, bitch. I'm an atheist. I'm now an atheist and I feel so alone. You're not alone, buddy. I know you're not listening, but you're not alone. I was born Christian and I live in the Bible Belt, GH specifically. A shiny bucket of the Bible Belt there. You can say that about every fucking state. Not too long ago, I decided to look into the Bible thoroughly because I am a lesbian. And I really wanted to see what it said about homosexuality and if it was true. Turns out I found all of it to be a crock of shit. And I'm no longer a Christina or a theist. She's not a Christina anymore, folks, or a typist or a theist. All of my family believes heavily in God. I haven't told anyone, except for my mom and my brother. But I'm an atheist now, but they generally understand my problems with the Bible, you think. How do you justify that? How do you be a gay person and want to be a Christian still? It just doesn't go. You just give it up. They don't want you. You can't respin it. I had this chooch like try to, you see, like answered one of my videos with his own video and his 5 fucking followers. He's like, okay, this guy thinks that the Bible's unreliable because it was translated and revised many times. Well, let me say that every time the Bible a new version of the Bible comes out, it's not translated from the last version. They go back to the original text. Blah 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 blah. Okay, yeah. So the Bible's so reliable. That's why there's only one brand of Christianity, right? What are you trying to talk about, you idiot? So that's my advice. Leave home. You know, I don't know. I don't. It doesn't. I don't. I don't get why. I guess it's just indoctrination, right? They really feel like God and Jesus must be real, and that the Bible just like, yeah, it was bad people. How do they get around that? No, it's just a shitty old document that has no moral relevance today. None. None at all. You leave him alone? Yeah, he went through some shit. Poor guy. Yeah, no, I love my boy Neil. I just love to give people shit. Well, the Christian fundamentalists saw their red wave fail. That's what I was asking before on the talk before I got so rudely launched launched off of the talk. Terrible. Is the above information correct? No, it's not correct. I already told you it wasn't correct. Stupid. Your life has ended. Yeah, thanks. Stress from the ex. Yeah, that sucks. The holidays suck. You guys love the holidays? I hate the fucking holidays. It's nothing but a stress ball. Getting through them is like it's like something to live through every fucking year, man. I wish I could just enjoy the holidays. Because I'm a guy who loves that shit. But ever since I got married and had kids now, it's just sucks. Who are you gonna disappoint? Who's gonna fuck something up? Stress and getting the food prepared and dealing with fucking religious family members and yeah, that's what's up there with my life. So yeah, if you guys love the holidays, I'm glad you must be lucky. And maybe I had my share of good holidays. And karma, you want some woo? There's karma for you. The rest of my life I get to have shitty fucking holidays because my childhood was idyllic. Christian, but not crazy Christian. Family, but not huge family. Poor, but not too poor. We had idyllic Christmas in New England. It was like a fucking Currier and Ives print. I literally snow, hills, sleigh bells, Christmas carols. It was gorgeous. It was like a dream. It was just gorgeous growing up like that. But since then, it just got shitty. Dude, there's a billboard by me that says there is evidence for God. It has a Bible number, which leads to a verse that just says there is evidence for God. That's awesome. It's not one of those billboards where it's like an eight, like a toll note. What are those? The numbers you can call and you pay to like hear somebody. There's like porn numbers like 877 or I forget. But there's billboards that they're making money off of people. They're like, Jesus is real. Call for proof, or Jesus will save you. Yeah, seriously. No, Rockwell to Munch. Good one, man. As me at the holidays now. Brutal. And it's already started. The X is climbing up my ass. One I-900 eat my bio. What? Oh, why? Oh, I get you. 1-900 yes. 1-800 JC lives. 1-800 get on your knees. It's pretty good. Yeah, the phone number makes money for the asshole on the other side of the line. And he feels better about himself because he's not selling his ass on the phone. It's not sex because you can get one of them numbers and it'll be like somebody will talk to you while you whack your queen. Measure constraints. I like that. Use your imagination at your own risk. It can be addictive. Yeah, so that has been for me. Hasn't it? But yeah, 666 per minute. Call now, daddy. Hee hee. That's a good one. I love to just have unlimited money and time to like put response billboards up to right next to those. You know, I got a million ideas every time I see that shit. You know, and if it wasn't private property and I didn't have respect for people's right to put up shit on their own cornfield, then I would get right out of my car and like go and tack a piece of paper to the fence post, to the telephone pole, to the tree where it says Jesus saves that someone printed on their fucking computer or by hand, and just put another one underneath. This is what you get in the country. You drive across the country, people will go hang a sign like that out on their front fence post. You know, it's this big, and it's just you drive by and all of a sudden like, all right, thanks, you hillbilly. Jesus saves. Really? Let him save you from this fucking single wire you living in a hole on the roof. Do you write horror fiction, Matt? Dan, you're just like an amazing dude. You're a Renaissance man. He's gonna be what? A fucking doctor or some shit. He's like taking medical parts off of people. And what do you do, man? You like harvest organs and sell them on the black market for money? Is that what it is? I forget. Some fucking Frankenstein shit that the Mad Hatter's into. He writes horror fiction as well as growing pumpkins and born himself with the same fucking Rush music over and over. I love it, man. That's a fucking life, dude. Don't waste any time. What's up with the East? I thought with the Patriots out of the way, we had the Bills are supposed to be good. Now the Jets fucking up and beat. Wasn't it the Jets that took it to the Bills? And the Dolphins are good. It's like what's happened to my world? The brains. That's funny. You still see, yes, you can, right? You can still see. No, does it pause me if I click off the window? I wonder. That's odd. I should have to open up my notes in a different window if I'm going to go on YouTube. I'm not used to using the computer like so. I'm looking at the screen, not the camera. I'm used to where that camera is, so that I'm going to address you fine people face to face, eye to eye. 20 albums. You imagine that? 20 Rush albums. I guess I would have probably had to guess that because they were around for so long. And all the songs you can name come off like one of them. Rush is one of those bands that be like, give me a ticket live and I'm there. But sitting around the fucking shack, sitting around the shanty, listening over and over. I don't know. I'll give it a deeper dive though. I promise I will. Yeah, the Bills fucked up, didn't they? That's too bad. Josh Allen didn't get hurt. And, what are you gonna do? It's good to see him doing well. Gotta be honest with you. It's good to see him doing well. Good to see somebody else get a turn. I've had my turn with the Patriot and the Red Sox and the Celtic and the Bruin and everybody. They all won. Let somebody schmucks from Cleveland win. Buffalo. What do they got to look forward to? The backside of the falls? Yeah, come to Buffalo. See the shitty side of the falls and a gray sky and some factories. We got some deco buildings downtown, and we got some streets. And we got the Bills. Yes, come to Buffalo. So yeah, Buffalo winning the bowl finally would be wonderful for the Buff. I would be proud and happy. One of those tiny markets, Buffalo, right? You wonder how they're bigger than Green Bay. I think Green Bay is the smallest market. But I guess you're in the Buff. You get Syracuse, you get Rochester, you got all Midland-sized towns in upstate New York. Yeah, I like that. I lack focus myself all my life, Matt. I'm with you. Food is good in Buffalo. Recommendation for Buffalo food, folks. Buffalo. We're not just about wings anymore. Come to Buffalo for the food, folks. Probably a pretty decent selection of that local wine, New York wine, country wine. It can be had in Buffalo. I'm guessing a lot of local beers in upstate New York. People don't realize that. A lot of those German immigrants in upstate New York, Yingling beer and shit like that. A lot of local beers in upstate Genesee. One of my favorite beers growing up, man. If I was growing up and I wanted to drink underage when I was 16, I was getting me some Jenny Cream Ale. my friend. You can believe it. Goes down smooth. Yeah. I know. I grew up in New England. I can't throw shade at gray skies, man. Buffalo's just one of those towns. I just think of it as gray. I think of it as a gray town. When and where you go. That's cool. No, I'll take your word for that. I've never hung out in Buffalo proper, so I'll have to do that. It's on my way to my people in Syracuse. As you know, I drove by, and you admitted that you don't even know which direction Buffalo is from your suburb because you're directionally challenged. What if they like spun you around at night and it was really dark and it just like plopped you in a field, like a block, 2 blocks from your house? Could you walk towards Buffalo? You're like, fuck no, I'd end up in Mexico first. It's all right. No rush. Get it? Yeah. So you're a Guinness guy for beer? Ooh. Tobacco juice is for spitting, not drinking. That's how I feel about Guinness. I know it's awfully popular for me to make fun of, so it's hard for me to say that it's not objectively a pretty good stout. But yeah, I don't need to drink black liquid that a spoon can stand up in. I don't know. Not tasty. I like beer. I like most beer, but not ones that are so bitter that it's just like effort to drink them. Give me a light lager on a hot day, and I'm happy. I actually had a Modelo. Probably paid $14 for it at the United Center. I nursed that son of a bitch out through the opening act again for Arcade Fire was called the Boukman Experience, and it's Haitian music. The whole experience last night started with a DJ who was like anonymously, handsomely Moroccan, skinny, tall. It just like he put on and he was playing these awesome beats from it was like club music but world music too. A lot of North African sounds. And some German pop, but all real clubby, real get up and move. From the time we were there, like an hour early, and there was never a point we were there that there wasn't like good DJ music playing, and this guy dancing around, shaking his sticks and playing the maraca. And then the opening act came on, and they were called the Boukman Experience, and Experience is spelled Experyans, and they're Haitian, and a lot of their singing was in French. I couldn't really understand any of it. But it was a crazy blend of sounds, Caribbean and African and French pop and American rock and voodoo influenced is how they describe themselves somehow. Fascinating. And like 3 singers, I should say, 2 women and a man, singing kind of gospel style harmonies, but in that style of which basically another version of an Afro-Caribbean kind of beat. It was really unique and powerful and different, uplifting and joyful sounding. Something I'd never heard. Yeah, Boukman Turner Overdrive. Another Canadian band. Listen, you're too close to Canada, dude. Move south. Get your fucking head out of Canada. BTO and Rush, dude. We have music here in the United States, my friend. Take yourself out of Canada. I know. Maybe there's like a magnetic field that's kind of drawing your brain over the border there by where you are. But trust me, man. I was listening to Talking Heads, REM yesterday, remembering some like sick ass American bands. There's got to be like, what else? The Guess Who, man. Oh, more Canadian. Neil Young. No, shut up with the Canadian bands. Too hot, too many. Yeah, I know you're a big dude. For too hot, it's hard to get too hot for me. I was born in Florida. I was born with the bug, my friend. It's just in my soul. It's connected to my sinews. That tropical heat, my friend. You can always just douse yourself. I don't have any hair. I don't have to worry about the hairdo. If it gets that hot, I can just dump water on myself. But if it gets ugly cold, it's just not comfortable, man. Your favorite punk band too is the Flat, also Canadian. Ooh, man. Nah, it's great. Canada's produced a lot of fucking artistic geniuses who then made their money off of Americans. Because sooner or later you start getting paid in salt cod if you're from Canada. I tease. It's actually seal meat they pay people with. Thanks for chilling, you guys. This is nice of you. I don't expect to have a lot of listeners on this one until I get it going a little bit and amp up content with a plan a little bit. There's like a list of YouTubers being arrested for being atheists in different countries, of course. That doesn't happen in America yet. YouTubers have been arrested for being atheists after a religious discourse with a sheikh from Al Azhar named Ahmed Karima on YouTube. Ahmed Karima cursed Hesham. This is Hesham Fuad Ahmed, also known as Hesham Al Masri, Egyptian atheist blogger. You got it pretty decent in Egypt, right? That's like not as bad. You can probably do that. But here he is, man. Ahmed Karima cursed him and then withdrew from the discussion. The sheikh then took advantage of his connections to press the national security to apprehend Hesham and the owner of the channel. No, in Egypt. On Sunday, the sheikh came live on the channel and incited against Hesham again and called on lawyers to press charges to the public prosecutor. This guy's connected. He's a sheikh. He's got money, right? He's got his dick in the oil well. So he can do what he wants. Prosecutor against, like, oh, maybe I was wrong. Maybe you can't diss Islam like this openly in Egypt still. You get fucked with. On the same day, Hesham came out on a live video on YouTube in which he talked about the threats directed at him, and he will stop for a period of time until the ongoing threat is passed. And in the event of his disappearance, the YouTube channel manager will publicly disclose the threat he is facing. On November 7th, the channel manager announced that he had lost contact with Hesham Al Masri and that Hesham was apprehended by national security. Yes, arrested in Egypt for being an atheist, a place that every atheist should feel like they can go. Mountain Laurel, my sweetie, what's up, Mountain Laurel? You gonna be home this afternoon? I'm coming to see you, baby. Thanks for jumping over. Yay, I'm so glad that you found us. It's already after 12, and I'm really, really stoked that we've been able to talk this long. Love you so much. So thanks for making that possible. I hope to get the YouTube up to where there's people following that we can do this without just the 5 of us. But I appreciate it. No, you guys make me feel so loved, so wanted, and live for it. Narcissist like me, I shrivel up and fade away without the public adoration. Yes. Oh, like the wicked witch when she gets water on her, right? I'm melting, pay attention to me, pay attention to me. But yeah, sad shit. And if you can help out, there's links there. That's on Reddit if you want to look for that. Hashem, atheist blogger, Egypt, should keyword you there on YouTube, and you can look at the story of this guy who's been arrested. So there's still so much work to do. I mean, we're here making fun, and I like to do this shit. But the other side of what we do is real activism, and it's easier to do this and roll out of bed and wear pants even and get on YouTube and blab. But if you guys, if you're in any kind of position to get public about it, now is not the time to let off the gas. We have people coming to us from, parts unknown here because of what the Supreme Court did. And as soon as Roe versus Wade got rolled back, got revoked, got squashed, as soon as we got 50 years shoved back into the past, like regressive fucks, people started seeking out my little atheist group. They're like, hey, and so, typically this is a small town. We don't have a lot of atheists coming to group up, So it's very difficult to get actual activism going on. But it's coming. It's coming because these assholes are still out in front of the Planned Parenthood. It's like, I think I started talking about earlier, the Planned Parenthood already can't offer abortions in Wisconsin. We had a trigger law. They are illegal here now. And these assholes are still showing up to pray. What are you praying for now? That Planned Parenthood stops giving health advice? That they don't do the other million things they do that have nothing to do with abortion? Literally, the assault on women's health and women's rights, it makes me fucking embarrassed to be an American again. It's like I needed anything else to be embarrassed. The way we do not take care of women on this planet is a fucking crime against nature, and I don't get it personally. If I was going to pay attention to one gender on this planet, you can fucking goddamn well be assured it wouldn't be men. Dirty, smelly, sports-minded fuckwits, ugly, wrinkly bastards. Women are hot, man. trust women so much more than men to be real about anything. Yeah, they have their issues. Yes, I say it all the time. I'm like, women are smarter than men, but that's a low bar. Women are like, yes, I'm like, shut up. I didn't say you were smart. I said you were smarter than men. That's a big fucking difference. Y'all are stupid as fuck. Everybody, all of us. I tease, but I don't get it. It doesn't. Where is that? Just I want to take care of you because you're just. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it myself. So God is the bad guy in the Bible, not the devil. Yes, we know. People love to point out that one. God is the asshole liar in the beginning of the book, right? He's the asshole liar who tells Adam and Eve that they'll die if they eat the apple. Well, they didn't die; they became godlike, and that was the lie, right? Snake is like, he's full of shit. Eat the apple; it tastes good. And yes, we know. It wasn't a. Yeah, did you hear the faithless healer? Someone's outside, probably. There might be somebody stopping by. Sometimes afternoon, after church is over, my guy comes around. And he gets mad at me for doing my atheist thing on Sunday. I'm like, if I had a church, you wouldn't grump about the time I spend on this, But it's again typical. It's the privilege that we face. Our atheism is not respected as a choice that should be completely supported and upheld and lauded even and considered to be a good thing, a good use of your time on Sunday. That was always got me, this whole thing. Just choose a church of your choice and go take Sunday to worship. This is like good advice you get from people. Just like sitting around the family dinner table and eating dinner together. It's just so good for everybody. Yeah, maybe it's good for most people. It's not good for everybody. You don't fucking know that. Maybe dad farts at the table uncontrollably. Maybe you got an autistic child who just can't sit still and it's a disaster every time. I don't know. There's a million reasons that might not work for everybody. The idea that creating family dialogue is a good way to have a healthy family. Yes. Does it have to be the dinner table? These kind of like blanket statements that people are. I just really that shit irks me. It irks me. It's not for everybody necessarily. Going to a house of worship is not a guaranteed way to be happy. But for so long in society, we've just gotten used to that. The Council of Churches, we're all together here, selling the same version, the different version of the same lie. We're here, just pick your lie, pick the way you want your lie sold to you, and go. We all get together once a week anyway, all as pastors, and we gossip about y'all anyway. And if you don't think that goes on in small towns, then you're fucked. You're fucked. You don't think that the pastors all know each other and gossip about the parishioners in a small town where there's 4 different Protestant churches and a J-Dub? You don't think? Yeah, please. Like the bishop said on The Wire, getting up in people's business. That's what church folk do. That's how we do. That's your job if you're a bishop or an elderman in the church. It's your job to be up in people's shit. Damn, he cheating on his wife again. Church people gonna find out about that. You watch. I don't even see Hyperhumanity anymore, Laura. It's so sad that I have to look for that shit, and I don't have time to do that, so I don't end up seeing any of it. I should hit him up again and do another live with him. That was a good one. Bad gas travels fast in the small towns. Poetic as hell. Bad gas travels fast. That sounds like a song. That sounds like a song from a Canadian, straight ahead Canadian rock band. Bad gas travels fast. He's been sporadic, maybe. Yeah, like I said, I can't say anything about him. I don't see anybody. I don't see my gorgeous Rachel. I don't see. I see. Don't tax the churches or tax the church. She comes up. Thankfully, thank the stars. My giant crush is Ryan. She's so goofy. I just love it. She's so goofy. Of course, she's the gossip. If you weren't gossiping, you were the one that was being gossiped about. If you weren't the one gossiping, it's because you were the one who had your dick in somebody and you didn't want to get gossiped about. So you're like, then you're loath to start flapping your gums because you got shit to hide, right? I was there. I was in church. Believe me. I know. Write that song, dude. You can work it out. Yeah, people take a break. Eve had a message where she just going through some shit in her private thing. She's someone who posts like twice a day. And I don't know how these people do it, honestly. I suppose I'd have more followers if I posted more regularly. But yeah, I don't like to just post. If I don't have a good idea, I don't want to post. So I don't know what you guys think about that. We really like tell them, hey guys, just wanted to say I'm having a rough day, or hey, just the car here, like Deadpool, and maybe that gets me more viewers. I don't know. Maybe it gets me more followers being more about just your life and what's going on than trying to come up with a always clever video. Maybe that's better. I don't know. More feedback would be better. It would be easier to know. I asked those questions and I never seem to get a whole lot of response. People think that that's a way. That these creators who have 300, 400,000 followers who post across a variety of subjects compared to me. I don't know. Maybe is that effective? Yeah, it's hard for me to change my ways though. Who got banned again? Hyper got banned again? Or his live got banned? Like mine. That's terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. I just got back on the live. They kicked me off for vaping on YouTube. I don't know. Do people get kicked off in the lives for vaping? He didn't laugh when I said this wine tastes like Jesus. That's awesome. Just now remembered a hilarious time having pizza with two friends and one dude I'd never met. They invited, his name was David, and he was an awkward and judgy Christian who did not like me. First, he recoiled in disgust at a quippy innuendo I made about my friend and her husband. It was harmless, IMO, and just the usual banter for me. She made a flirty comment, right, about somebody's husband. But I guess he didn't appreciate acknowledgement that married folks have sex. My friend Mark suggested a wine for the two of us. Emily was pregnant and David doesn't drink. After the first taste, Mark asked how I liked it. I said, it's delicious. Tastes like Jesus. I want to meet this girl. This is fucking awesome. I mean, as an ex-Catholic, I know what I'm talking about. Mark laughed his ass off. David did not. He glared at me the rest of the night and never spoke to me again. I think it was all he could do not to just get up and walk away. Good time. Why didn't he just walk away? Sorry, not sorry, David. That's some funny shit. Thank you. Usually these posts that are just blog posts or just comments on Reddit don't go anywhere. That one made me laugh out loud, man. That's fucking funny. You got bumped off of YouTube lives for making poop jokes? Matt? Off of YouTube? I can't make a poop joke? Or did you mean TikTok? I did not know. You mean Dre? Lateralis? He used to be a preacher. He used to be a pastor. Pastor what? Pastor Fudge? Reminds me of a joke. Was that? Yeah, a lot of atheists did used to be pastors because that makes a lot of people atheists, especially when you actually go to seminary. Well, just like Deadpool, right? If you go to, I know so many people who, Catholic priests especially, really common for a Catholic priest to just not believe in God anymore when they come out of so much religious education. It's very often the byproduct, but that's their job. They went to school, they paid for it, so now they go, they minister to the flock, they talk down to the idiots that are in the parish, and that's the way they do their job. That goes on all the time. I knew a lay pastor who was the same way. He's like, yeah, I don't believe in God, but this is my church, my community, and when I preach to them, I give a homily that speaks to them, that they understand. Speak to them in a language they understand. A lot of that goes on. So what's up? You did make it through seminary. Where'd you go to seminary? And pastored in 3 churches. Yeah, I'm interested in that. Tell me what kind of churches, what kind of seminary, what kind of Kool-Aid were you serving out? Yeah, I was a devout Christian as a kid too. We just were not hardcore. Missouri Baptist University. Is it basically a Southern Baptist style doctrine at Missouri Baptist University? Or is it a little more progressive than that because it's a university? It doesn't even sound like, I mean, it's not Harvard Divinity School, right? Tell me a little bit about that. I'm not trying to throw shade, and maybe it was a great religious experience. I had obviously sowed the seeds, I would imagine, right? Did you feel like Assembly of God? Good Lord. That was Assembly of God was the beginning of the end, man. I grew up in a town. We moved around when I was little, but by the time I was 10, we settled in the town for the rest of my adolescence. And that town had 2 churches, a First Baptist church, not to be confused with Missouri Baptist or Southern Baptist, a First Baptist church from the north, one of the religions of the founders, and a Congregationalist church, the other religion of the founders, one of the other 5 or 6 denominations that were the most popular denominations among the founders who weren't deists, among the ones who actually identified with a Protestant faith. This is what I grew up with. And when an Assembly of God church moved into town, we couldn't believe it. And we all went. And our pastors encouraged us to go. They're like, go see what that one's about. I'd never seen anything like it. And it was mellow by any charismatic standards. But I'd never heard anybody say amen out loud in the audience, ever. I was like, that bitch just said amen too. She raised her hands and said amen loud. That's not what you do in church. And that was the beginning of the evangelical real snowball. You know, it had started in the 50s, as I keep saying, but that was the beginning. And Assembly of God was right there at the beginning of starting to spread churches that were more fundamental, more evangelical than the mainline Protestant denominations that I had grown up with, and the whole world changed. And that was right in those days right around Reagan, right around 80, late 70s, early 80s. All of a sudden, there was this different brand of Christianity in everybody's face in America that led us to the megachurch and led us to this bimbo population of congregants that don't know dick about their beliefs. We got taught. Our Sunday school was productive. We got taught real, not just our theology, but other religions' theology. And no one ever told me Jesus was even necessarily the stories of Jesus. I mean, we thought Jesus was real, but we didn't think all of his stories were literal. There was plenty of room for discussion about how the miracles may have been, figurative writing. And that was welcome. It wasn't shunned in any kind of way. We had a wonderful church upbringing, Assembly of God. I remember going and thinking, this is the dumbing down of religion already. I could see that as a kid, I could see the audience just wants to rock to what the charismatic preacher is saying, and not really get terribly introspective or philosophical. They want to feel something. They want to have that endorphin release. They want to excite that part of the brain that they can through this, that they're not gonna, because they're not gonna go out and do a line of coke tonight, like some other folks in 1978. We're gonna. Let me see. What do you got to say about that, Andre? I love. I was going to say the Missouri Baptists. I mean, I had to be conservative. I knew a chill priest who loved his cigars. Yeah, I grew up with the first priests I started meeting were. That's when I realized, I'm like, Catholicism it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? But the Catholics are not worried about drinking and dancing. I grew up in churches where if you were a little bit more hardcore than our church, you might not approved of like certain kinds of dancing. That the Protestants were down on that. We didn't want to grind bellies when we're dancing. It was right at the school dance. Catholics not so much. When you get to that other part, you need to fucking make a baby for it. So just be ready. But they didn't demonize sex the way the Protestants did. Interesting shit to think about growing up. But yeah, when I realized that priests were like, a lot of times you could party with a priest. I was like, all right. And this guy knows some shit. He's been to school. He knows some theology. He can talk about the Bible in a literate way, you know. Actually, the priest of my old church left the priesthood because he got caught stealing collection money and donating it to charity. And actually donating it to charities, and probably they were holding out. What do you think they do with them? Like, this is like a priest gets fired for actually doing an altruist. I love that. That's fucking awesome, dude. And stealing money from the collection plate, that's a misdemeanor compared to what goes on with priests, right? We'd be happy to hear about a scandal. There's a scandal today. A priest got away with $27.43 from the collection plate. They're in rural Macon, Georgia. One Catholic church for 100 miles, and you got a priest stealing out of the collection plate. You know, what's better than that? I love that. He's giving it to charity because he knows the fuckwits up the ladder are using it to reposition pedophiles in other parishes. That's fucking brilliant. That's brilliant, man. I got the feeling the priest was just going through the motions. He seemed more agnostic or non-dual. Yeah, there's that too. And especially if he's there, like really chomping a cigar and having a couple whiskeys. Those are those guys. They don't fucking believe it. When we did the atheist billboard, they asked a priest for the reaction, and he's like, "Well, I think that there's a faction of people that just like to call into question the veracity of certain myth traditions, and in our case, that means the whole Jesus story." And he said it in a way where you knew that he knew and understood it as a myth. And this was his counter commentary to an atheist billboard. He couldn't hide the fact that it's superfluous. It's just dumb. It doesn't even matter. I argue with guys all the time. It doesn't matter if it's real. If Jesus changed my life, no, you didn't. You did it, and you used a faith in Jesus as a tool, like someone else might have used a self-help book, or someone else might have found Buddhism. It doesn't matter a lick whether it's real or not. Not a lick. Not a foot wash, whether it was real or not. You did that to yourself by correcting your behavior. You use this as a crutch or an aid, then that's great, but it doesn't. The actual reality of the story being true or not is completely immaterial. I pastored with guys who taught things they knew was unbiblical, but it was sensational, and it really was like a line of coke with a Jack Daniels. Yeah, I bet. They have a good benefit package, and it's a good gig. Was that the priests? Yeah, you don't make a lot of money, but they take care of your shit, right? You can live, you can get what you want, you can take a field trip anytime, Someone's FaceTiming me.
Hey.
Live on YouTube. What's up?
My bad.
It's all right. See you later.
Okay.
Bye. Yeah, man. Yeah, the GF hit me up. FaceTime. They're like, don't answer me. Why didn't you pick up my FaceTime? I FaceTime you. Why didn't you answer? Don't you love having a girlfriend? Yeah, it's great. I was like, the other day, I was like, yeah, it was married already. I don't need that from a girlfriend. You tried Coke once and wasn't for me. You prefer Pepsi? Do you really? That's disgusting, dude. Another mark in the con column today for Matt Hatter. He's on a roll. Pepsi's gross. Pepsi's like literal sugar water with no other flavor in it. I can't stand Pepsi. I have to give Pepsi props, though. It did open the door of the cola world for me as a youth, a really young youth. I used to like the fruity sodas much more. The cola's burn, too much of a burn, But when I got into high school, I worked in the training room for a while, and the old trainer had a mini fridge full of Cokes that was like Sub-Zero or Pepsi's, excuse me. And that's all there was. So you're like, they're working, and you want a soda, And so I just started drinking those Pepsis. I was like, wow, ice cold. I was like, all right. And I think my grown-up nose at 15 or 16 could start taking that fizz, that burn, that afterburn a little bit better. So it didn't burn my face off like I felt like it did when I was a kid. But then when I tried Coke later on, I'm like, oh, okay. This more burn, less sweet. That's where I'm at with that. Pepsi, if you like Pepsi, no, I get it. The Coke joke is good. But people who like Pepsi are just people who want it sweeter and not as fizzy. Coke is, I think, objectively more carbonated, and that's what I love. I don't even care about the sugar. Coke Zero is kind of good. It's really more about that phosphoric acid burn on the back of my throat, which is really not healthy. Not a healthy pastime, my friend. Yeah, well, a few more minutes. It's already 12:35. Thanks for hanging in, you guys. That was really cool. I appreciate you all. And I'm gonna jump off, I think, here in a minute because I gotta go. We can't make a poop. Oh, it's YouTube. I gotta go wee wee. Gotta make water. Daystar, a tax exempt TV station church. Isn't Daystar more like Morningstar? Wouldn't that be kind of satanic to call something Daystar? I guess Daystar is the sun, I guess, so whatever. Weird. A new velvety smooth male. What? A craft? I'm reading a craft fucking ad like it was a thing. My kid is being indoctrinated at school. Welcome to America! Everybody's is. And then the rabbit, yeah, indoctrinating into homosexuality and transgenderism. Indoctrinating. How do you like people being indoctrinated in school? That's what they hit you with now when you're on our side. I'm like, yeah, I think you're maybe overreacting. They're not trying to indoctrinate people to that. They're trying to let people know that there's every kind of people out there. It's really you're not helping by spinning it the wrong way. Why does a belief in God motivate people? Whether it's karma or godly justice, to believe in such things is rather naive and sad. Yeah. What are some superstitions still observed in first world countries? Yes. Oh, just the little ones, like people who are on a streak, gambling. They won't change where they're sitting. I do that if I'm playing poker. I don't want to get out of the seat. I know it's stupid. I don't try to pretend that it's real, but it's like I don't know. The luck is here right now. Right? It's completely irrational. That's one that goes on all the time. People like doing a certain chant or something, or waving the towels when their team has got the ball, and all that kind of crap goes on in first world countries. But yeah, like we ask them, what are some superstitions still observed in first world countries? Fucking Christianity. In other religions. What are you talking about? What is The Chosen TV show? I feel like I did look at that. I don't know. Watching The Peripheral. You guys check out The Peripheral? Fucking good shit, man. Got to give it up. That Chloe Grace Moretz grew up into a fine-looking young woman, let me tell you what. And the show is just outstanding. Morningstar breakfasts are all vegan, but I won't buy them. So I won't buy them, but I like the name because you don't eat any vegan. What's the matter with you? Yeah, Morningstar Farms is a pretty decent brand. You won't pick up a penny if it's tails up. Tailist. You're a tailist. Could it be seitan? I think that the vegan food seitan, Seitan. Seitan. It's a pun that I like. Yeah, the lime Coke wasn't bad. I'm a purist, but the vanilla Coke was all right too. But I like vegan stuff from time to time. Coke is good too. I picked up some veggie burgers because I just like them, not because I care to eat. I'm trying to eat better, obviously, because of my shit. But I'm trying to, be smarter about that. But I don't like. I just eat it. I would eat it anyway, just because I like the change of pace. I like the way a good veggie burger tastes. I think it's a decent invention. I just don't like when my food lies to you. Here, if you find money on the street, you're supposed to spit on it and put it in your pocket for good luck. Put it in your pocket for COVID, more like. It's disgusting. Everybody go to Denmark. I can make a loogie on some fucking street money. Nothing like a phlegmy fucking Corona laying around the gutter for you. All right, let's go get a coffee. We found a fucking couple of Corona on the ground with some spooge on them. Yeah, Beyond Burgers are tasty. A lot of those are good products. A lot of well-formed black bean burger at a tavern. I'll get that sometimes. I just feel like it. I think they would, Matt. I like the way you think, man. That's smart. Yes, hail Satan. I think they would, and they might just steal the idea and not give you anything. They send you a bag of free shit. That's probably what you get. The veggie sausage doesn't have the gristle. The problem with the veggie sausage is there's just not enough grease in them. I don't know why they can't replace them somehow with some kind of vegetable oil. But it's like if I'm looking to go oil free, I'll just eat something completely different. But if you're trying to grill sausage up, nobody wants sausage that doesn't release any oil so that it can crispy itself up a little bit in its fucking oil. And I don't get that, you know. The burgers are different. You're not necessarily, but a breakfast sausage that comes out like so dry that you need to dunk it in your milk, I don't fucking need it. You got to add oil in the pan if you do that. I'm just not sure why they can't make them a little bit more oily in their content. There's a zillion ways to come up with fucking vegetable oils. Put some palm oil in it. They're ruining the world with palm oil, right? Those will pile on there. Mountain Laurel. Some of those things you want to fucking deep fry. They're so dry. But yeah, like when people hawk and spit. Hawk. I think it's hawk. Hock. You don't like it when people hawk? I used to think that was funny when I was little. When I was 17, I used to think that was like really clever and funny to do that. Now I'm like, Jesus, that's fucking rude in public. And I'll be like, I'd blow my nose loud too. I make my nostrils vibrate. It hammers out more juice when I do it like that. And I've never been able to stop myself since I taught myself in college to do that. And I'll do it like so subconsciously or unconsciously when I'm doing it that like people will be like, dude, I'm on the phone. The ex will be like on a conference call with, some muckety mucks at Wells Fargo. And I'll be in the background going, snot rockets. Yes. The hawk makes you gag. It's hawk. You got hawk and a loogie. Hawk is a raptor, a bird of prey. Come on now. You hawk a loogie. H-O-C-K. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. I think you hawk a loogie. All right, kids. I'm gonna go. Really appreciate you guys. That was very cool of you to come over and hang out. And well, let's make it a regular thing. For now, after TikTok, I'll just roll over to this, and maybe do it the opposite way next week since I won't be able to go on TikTok. Maybe I'll start with this one. I think it makes sense to roll over. Thank you, Mountain Laurel. Love you. Long time, and appreciate you. All right, cool. I'll see you next week, if not before. If I go on YouTube on Friday, I might, if I have time. It's gonna be busy. Holidays coming up. Everybody, take care of yourselves. Love you. Stop talking about you're eating dinner here, people. Don't talk about loogies. All right, thank you, Dre, for jumping over. I want to talk more about your preacherhood next time, man. That's I like to fart wherever I am. All right, I will leave you guys with that. Appreciate it. I'll see you guys later.